Okay, real quick, I know I said I wasn't going to drop any videos about the live action until promo started. Well, I guess we do kind of have that later in the video, but you guys have made it very clear that you guys just want me to talk about the live action, and today we had 2 decent sized updates, so I'm gonna do as you say. We just got some news about the role Avatar Kyoshi is going to be playing in Season 1 of the Avatar The Last Airbender live action series, and it's not the same as the cartoon at all, and I have a lot to say about that. We also have a huge update to if this series is coming out this summer or this year or next year, and we'll be talking about that later in the video, so you're going to want to stay here until the very end to catch all of that. Recently, Yvonne Chapman, who is the actress playing Avatar Kyoshi, did an interview with Cliché magazine. In this interview, she says a couple of good things about the live action. 1, she confirms that everybody working on the series is a huge fan, but 2, she states that Avatar Kyoshi is going to be mentoring Aang in Season 1. Here is the full quote. "I'm really curious to see what it's going to look like. Like everybody else, I'm kind of in the dark as well, but I'm so excited to see it. The team is fantastic. Gordon Cormier, who plays Aang, is so lovely and so talented. The showrunners and creators have such passion for the story. They were all fans of it growing up, so there is a great deal of respect for the source material, and they've kept in mind that the audience that is going to be watching this has grown up with the show. I think it's going to be great, and I can't wait to see it. Kyoshi will be a source of tough love for Avatar Aang. Sometimes she has a different perspective from other avatars. She is a very fierce person, and she's going to be able to guide Aang in what needs to be done in his circumstances. Kyoshi is going to be able to give Aang advice that he needs to hear at the time he needs to hear it." There is a lot to dissect in this quote, so we're going to be doing what we do best on this channel and over speculate on what this could possibly mean. For starters, let's talk about the first part of the quote. There is a great deal of respect for the source material, but they have also kept in mind the audience that is going to be watching the show has grown up with it already. Here's what this means. At least to me anyway. I've said this 1,000 times, and you're going to be hearing it 1,001 times now. We already know the show is going to be a more mature version of Avatar, and it's not going to be a one-to-one remake of the cartoon. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be faithful to the lore of the Avatar universe. For example, Avatar Kyoshi guiding Aang in the live action. She doesn't do that in Season 1 of the cartoon, and she really never does that at all except for the Lion Turtle episode, which was for like 2 seconds. However, they can use the lore from the Kyoshi books, which is canon, and apply that to the show. So in that sense, it would still be faithful to the universe, like I just said. And if you didn't know, Yvonne Chapman actually read the Kyoshi novels in preparation for her role in the live action show. So I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that although it's not going to be a one-to-one faithful adaptation of the cartoon, at least from all of the leaks we've heard and people I've talked to on the inside, it's still going to be faithful to the in-universe expanded lore. This could also mean that since people grew up with it, they're also just going to skip out on some of the stuff that happened in the show that probably doesn't need to be explained again. This is a weird comparison, but sort of like how in the MCU, Spider-Man didn't need to go in there and get bitten by a spider on screen because we already know that happens. We've seen that in 3 other movies and 300 comics at this point. Now let's talk about the second part of this quote. Kyoshi will be a source of tough love for Aang. She sometimes has a different perspective from the other avatars. She's a very fierce person. She is going to be able to guide Aang in what needs to be done in his circumstances. Kyoshi is going to be able to give Aang the advice that he needs to hear at the time he needs to hear it. Now this seems to be implying that Avatar Kyoshi's character is going to have a much bigger role in this series than pretty much ever before. Kyoshi giving Aang advice is a major change from the cartoon, and it could change everything. In Season 1, the only Avatar Aang directly talked to is Avatar Roku. Kyoshi had a flashback episode with Shin the Conqueror, but she never really talked to Aang and gave him advice until the season finale. So Aang hearing the brutal truth and getting tough love from Kyoshi early on in his Avatar journey is going to have a major impact on his character. By the end of the series, we could potentially see an Aang that kills the Fire Lord instead of this energy bending stuff that we got in the cartoon. This addresses one of the major criticisms of Avatar The Last Airbender, and also just fits the darker theme of the show that they're going for. It makes sense by the end of the series that Aang would be okay with killing people that he deems as bad guys. I know he's a pacifist and sticks to his air nomad ways for the most part, but Aang has very clearly killed people in the past, destroying airships and having them crash from thousands of feet in the air, and leaving Fire Nation soldiers literally stranded in Arctic waters. I know it's just a cartoon and people are built different in the Avatar universe, but it's just silly to think that they would survive. The show is only going to be 8 episodes episodes long, and we're confirmed to be getting 3 past avatars. We have Karuk, Kyoshi, and Roku. I'm really looking forward to see how they're going to be fitting all of these avatars in. It seems obvious that Karuk would be in the season finale when they're at the Northern Water Tribe, and obviously Roku is going to be met at the Fire Temple. But where does Kyoshi come in if she's going to be in a mentor role? They can't really do the Chin the Conqueror flashback because, I mean, it was just a silly episode and we know this is going to be more mature. Where do you guys think they're going to introduce Kyoshi? Because I have no idea. Okay, another update just came when I was recording the audio for this video. Netflix is no longer attending the Upfront event on May 17th and has shifted to an all virtual presentation next week. Here, Netflix will be showcasing all of their upcoming shows for this year. So if Avatar is coming out this year and the rumors of a delay are false, then we will know by the end of next week. And you already know I'm going to be making a video on this if we get anything, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, that's the video.